Welcome to the Psycho streams, where we discuss episodes of Psychoville and the now defunct ARG that accompanied them. I'm Enchanted Essays. I make videos. I make film reviews and video essays on a relatively obscure film and television. George, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
I'm George of Headphones UK. I also do videos on obscure TV shows and old cartoons. And I just had my newest video come out this Sunday, well, previous Sunday, on unintentionally scary kids shows and adverts, which is the 5th time I've done a video on that subject.
I haven't had the chance to watch that yet, but I've seen your previous ones and they're brilliant.
Yeah, you should check it out. I think you'll like it. I even mentioned our Psychoville streams in the newest one.
Oh, brilliant. Well, thank you very much. Wonderful. So yeah, if you're watching this, wondering where that Inside Number 9 video essay is, it's coming. It is half finished. Or in terms of like the actual video footage, it's half finished. I recorded it in 2 halves. So the first half is almost completely finished. And I'm really proud of it. The second half has a really long way to go. I'll open it up quickly just so I can show you guys. But yeah, I did put a poll up recently asking, today, asking if I should save it for next Halloween or put it out as soon as it goes up. And thankfully, you guys really want to watch it. So it will be going up probably before the end of November. I've got some stuff planned for December. I'm also considering doing Inside Number 9 live streams or League of Gentlemen live streams of some description for Christmas. Because obviously there's Christmas specials of both of those. So when the polls go up for those, do let me know which one you'd like to watch, because the power is in your hands, viewers. Mm-hmm. And we have comments already. Hello, Alicia Alvarado, and hello, Ben Zamori97. Great to have you guys as always. And hello to whoever the third person viewing is. That's
probably me. I have the stream going whilst we're doing it so that I can keep an eye on the chat.
Ah, do you? Yeah, I don't know if you were able to see it in your version of StreamYard because you're not the host, but in StreamYard you can see the comments in the comments.
Yeah, I can't see it because I'm not hosting it.
Ah, it's only the host. I see. So yes, I'll League of Gentlemen for Christmas. That's my request anyway, because I've been binging it lately. Yes, yeah, I saw your comment recently. Have you changed your favorite character yet? Because it was Barbara, and then it was, I can't remember who it was after that. So let me know if you've got to either the Christmas special or the League of Gentlemen are behind you. I don't know if you're watching any of the live shows, but those are the 2 contenders: the Christmas special and the League of Gentlemen are behind you, which was a live show they did where the first half is panto, and then the first half is the residents of Royston Vasey trying to put on a nativity, including Ollie Plimpsols of Lexikimbo Theatre Company, and the second half is a panto version of League. It's very strange. The vets, yes, Chinnery, yes.
I was talking to Ben just last night about the little inside joke about who plays the mayor in the 2nd series. Do you know about that?
Yes. Chubby Brown.
Who
the bleep is Alice? Yes.
Yeah, the man whose real name is the namesake of the town in League of Gentlemen.
Yeah. I know there's a town near Cambridge, I think it is. It's called Royston, which amused me when I found that out.
About right.
So yes, this is what my deadline video essay looks like at the moment. I won't share the screen for long because it's probably not doing well with the CPU or whatever you call it. So yeah, you can see down here the audio is completely edited. I might add a few. The red bits here are where I'm going to add clips of video. So it'll probably it's definitely going to be longer than the actual episode I'm discussing. So yeah, you can expect quite a bit. I'm also going to get people to read out some tweets to include in it, which I haven't got around to asking people yet. I've asked people if they want to do it, and they've said yes. And now I need to go through the tweets and to find out which ones I'm going to do. And yeah, it's deadline. I'm sure you'll have guessed, anyone who's seen Inside Number 9, which episode I'm doing. Especially if you're in the Discord, I'm in the Inside Number 9 Discord, because I came up with ideas pretty soon for like little jokes and things in the video pretty soon after I first saw the episode. And I should have waited so that I could show them to the Reddit and the Discord, like, aha, here's a little promotion for this new video that's just come out. But no, I was excited. I wanted to share the jokes with people. This episode was like all I could think about for days. But anyway, that's not why we are here. We are here for Psychoville. So Benson Murray says Roy Chubby Brown. Blah. Roy Chubby's Brown. Oh wow,
he's not a great comedian, admittedly.
Yeah, I haven't heard great things personally.
I mean, to be fair, every once in a while he can come up with a decent one-liner. Like, I had to cut off my wife's life support this morning. It was the fucking fridge. Like, that's a good joke. But then
I mean, I've heard of him having a very dark sense of humor, but
it's a very
discovered to have a much darker sense of humor than I expected. So I don't know. Well, I think
it's like, apparently, like, the first joke he ever told when he started doing his blue sense of humor, which I don't know if I'll be able to say this word even though we're live streaming. It's like, my wife's got two and I'm one of them.
Benson Moreno said, not a bad Yorkshire accent, by the way, George.
Hey.
Yeah, it's you did do a bad one when we did Lomax, which I did do a poll on Lomax and you won it. And I should probably do more polls on who did the best voice.
Yeah.
Different things. I think I'm the only one who's competitive. I'm like, I'm slightly competitive. I actually am. I am actually very insecure. Please, everyone, tell me how good I am. I think I've insulted pretty much every person in the country with whatever accent I've attempted during these live streams, whether it's the West Country or Yorkshire or Manchester, just everywhere I have insulted by just sort of garbling something. Thank you, Benson Mori 97. Thank you. I need my ego fed. Thank you. Anyway, I don't need to play it. Let's discuss the Psychoville Halloween special. So,
yes,
that is why we're here. So, it starts with little Drew Aspinall breaking into Ravenhill and Kensington's office. He steals her locket. She goes to give his friends some cupcakes with pins in them, and she sees his alarm system, which is linked up to David in an electric chair. And despite seeing very clearly where the switch is on this alarm system for the door, he doesn't turn it off. He could have just turned it off. Why didn't he do that?
Yeah.
Thank you to Alicia Alvarado for also feeding my ego. Thank you. I appreciate that. Now we see him, and he's a young man now, and he's talking to Reese's character Phil Walker, who is a recce. Which for those of you who don't know means that he looks at locations that are used.
Recce being short for reconnaissance.
Indeed, and he's making he's doing reconnaissance for a Most Haunted style show, although he jokes it's nothing like Most Haunted, and then it just describes Most Haunted.
Only this one has Dale Winton in it.
Indeed. Recon, yeah.
Who weirdly is now a ghost, sadly.
Yes, sadly he is. Anyway, he apparently they wanted to use him for one of the websites, which we'll show you in a minute. But he said Del Winton was interested in participating when he thought it was something for the actual show. Wasn't enthusiastic about participating in something for the website. He's like, yeah, that would have sounded like a downgrade, wouldn't it? Oh no, we don't want you on our show. We don't
I
want you
just
on
imagine
the
him going.
website.
I just imagine him going. Do you know who I am? I'm the guy who turned down being the host of Hole in the Wall.
Indeed.
Because I think around this time, Hole in the Wall would have started to be hosted by Anton Dubek.
I remember Harry Hill talking about that.
Yeah.
I mean, I did watch some of the show at the time, but I remember it was a big thing on Harry Hill about Anton Dubek taking over. But anyway, so actually, I have been watching some bits of Most Haunted, which for my video essay. Which for those of you who have seen Inside Number 9 will know why. I know you haven't seen it, so George, so that's why you need to go and see it. Anyway. So he's looking for a haunted location for one of these shows. Drew, who you'll remember is the person who wrote the Ravenhill blog in the that we looked at last time.
Yep.
He's taken him around this abandoned psychiatric hospital, which of course we know from the last series. I'm not sure. It's at night, so I'd literally have to physically compare the two to check if it was the same location, which I'm not going to do. They do use a different location for Joy's house later in this, which they do
Yes,
for the
they
beginning
do.
of series too, which is the only unfortunate thing of watching this back to back is you probably wouldn't notice if it was like, you watched it a year later that it was a different house with Joy, because they do go for a very similar house. But
Yeah.
it's not the same house, I imagine, because they had to cut out the banister during that stunt for series 1. So I imagine that's why they weren't allowed back. Anyway, so he's leading him around this location and they're telling each other several spooky stories. So he none of which are canon. So first off, he's when he got caught by Kensington, she told him a spooky story about Mr. Jelly, who had not lost his hand yet in the timeline of the story. So
Yeah.
why she knows Mr. Jelly or that he's lost a hand, because this is like 10 years earlier, but we're not going to discuss that. Actually, probably not 10 years because this guy's quite young. So, but yeah,
They said
probably
it
about 10
says
years.
in the timestamp at the beginning, 1987.
Does it?
Yeah. Oh, hang on. Was that 1980 or 1997?
I think it was
1997.
1997.
Sorry.
So
Okay, yeah, so you're right. About 10 years.
yeah, because this was yeah, so yeah, Drew's much older than I thought he would be, because of course it was 2010 that this came out. So obviously that would have been 13 years earlier. So yeah, 13 years. It took me far too long to work that out. It's been 13 years. Yes, so a long time before Mr. Jelly lost his hand, maybe even before he was an entertainer, but I think it's made pretty clear that Mr. Jolly once really loved his job, so maybe he's kind of always been a clown his entire professional life. He seems like this was once his life.
Yeah.
And it still kind of is. Anyway, so yeah. So we get this story about to teach young Drew not to steal. So they go so Mr. Jelly I think it's shown having a pumpkin outside his house and yet turns trick-or-treaters away. Who does that? If you have a pumpkin, you're fair game. That is why you have a pumpkin.
Yeah, exactly.
Why else would you have one? If you don't, just keep it in your house. Just keep the pumpkin in your house. Anyway, Benzamori says, "I love this bit with Jelly at trick or treating." Yeah, it's brilliant. So yeah, he's there insulting these two children, and he's like, right, I'm gonna have just a night of treating myself. He gets Lady of the Night to come over. He's just eating he's having beans on toast and box quality street to himself, and he's watching The Exorcist 1 and 3, and so yeah, he's he's setting himself up for the night, and some very, very creepy trick-or-treaters arrive. And of course, in true horror movie fashion, he just somehow doesn't realize how insanely creepy these children are.
So they show up. It's the only way they could have been more annoying
There
is
they are.
if they went, you give us some cash, no sweets, no credit cards.
I've seen clips of that recently. Yeah,
Yeah.
I haven't seen any full episodes of Bottom yet. I've just seen the entirety of their first live show.
Oh
And
yeah,
then
the
a load
live
of
show.
clips.
The
Yeah, that's
live show, which is like 44% just bloopers.
yeah. Don't you ever yearn for
For
change?
And then they just go on this big derailment for 15 minutes.
Yeah, I love that. That is absolutely brilliant because you could tell they really loved working with each other,
Yeah.
which is yes, lovely. Anyway, yes, give the cattle prod to me. Yeah, and later he's like, hand it to me. I did send my brother a photo of Rick Mail in that costume and say, yeah, this should be a Halloween costume.
Yeah, some people do dress as that for Halloween now.
Yeah, I know my brother really wants to get his hands on the box set of the series because yeah, he's a big fan of Rick Mail. He's the one who got me watching The New Statesman, which is the first thing I've really seen Rick Mail in, and yeah, that's an absolutely brilliant show. You haven't seen that yet, have you?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, really brilliant stuff. Obviously he's far more subtle, but it is definitely something you'll like if you like his other stuff. Oh yeah, talking about the kids fat shaming and threatening to drown them. Yes. I wonder how many need the green tights. I'm not exactly that's probably referencing a part of the episode I haven't seen yet. I know why he has to change his tights.
Was the part just before that clip you're talking about was when they brought out the cattle prod, he turned it on, it backfired. He was originally wearing red tights and he said, right, that's it, decision made. I'll have to wear the green tights now.
Well, anyway, and of course Eddie dresses up as a banana because they ran out of pumpkins.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Anyway, so yes, these very creepy trick-or-treaters turn up. His evening starts going terribly wrong. There's a rat. They have I forgot to listen for it, but the BBC said to Reece Shearsmith, you're gonna have to call them Pringles or something. You can't call and say, I've got a rat in my Pringles can, because otherwise Pringles will complain and people will think they'll have rats in their Pringles cans.
Well, it's also a matter of the BBC have to be a bit tricky with naming brand stuff because
they do. I think Pringles isn't written on. We'd have to like go back frame by frame, so I don't think we'll be able to see it on this. But yeah, they I don't think they can put it on the box. I think they have to change the packaging. That looks like it's not quite a P there. They have to change the names from the packaging, I think. But I think they can mention things, but I think it's pretty complicated from what, because I've been watching these shows and going, oh yeah, they can use a brand name there, but they can't there. But maybe they're just not using it there because they want to make something up, and it is confusing. But anyway, so let me think what was I saying? So yeah, Reece Shearsmith said that he was thinking of dubbing himself to change it back to Pringles, but he could in the commentary, but he couldn't remember if he had or not. So I forgot to listen. I keep going. I must listen for it next time I watch it. Benson Morris says, change quality streets to quite nice alleys. Problem solved, BBC. Yeah, that's probably what they call it in Lidl or Aldi. Just buy the names of Lidl and Aldi, and
well, to be fair, if you had the option of a sweets variety box, why would you get Quality Street? That's the worst one. Get Heroes or Celebrations or hell, even Roses. Why Quality Street?
it's weird seeing Quality Street at any time of year that isn't Christmas.
It is, yeah.
I'm pretty sure they exist. It's just, but like unlike other brands like Roses, like Quality Street, you pretty much only see at Christmas.
Yeah.
Anyway, so all this creepy stuff starts happening, and
Oh, the naked exposition cat girl.
yeah. Careful, mister. I've got some exposition to clumsily deliver.
Yeah.
It's not in any way relevant to why I'm asking you to be careful. I don't know, but anyway, I'm being mean. Yeah. So yeah, it turns out that the children are dead, and he'd accidentally stolen a lollipop from a memorial, and then Mr. Jelly dies. And
Because he tries running after the kids and he ends up getting run over by a car.
yeah, so reminder, none of these stories the framing device for these stories are canon. The individual stories aren't.
The bits in between the stories are canon, but none of the ones that are being told are canon.
Yes, the cat costume is quite cute.
although I suppose technically you could say that David's story is somewhat canon because it's a dream he had and he's retelling the dream.
Yeah. Yes, but like the events in the dream aren't.
Oh yeah, the events didn't actually happen. But
I did sort of make a mistake by saying that the events in my Psychoville video, in my review video, when I was saying that it's like the League of Gentlemen Christmas special, which is also anthology horror, but it has a I was saying that the stories in that are non-canon. The only one that's non-canon is Charlie's Dream, and because I was confused by the her lip one. But to be fair, if you listen to the League of Gentlemen commentary, they also forget, the writers themselves forget about, actually I can't spoil it because Ben's watching, but yeah, they got the canon confused on her lip as well. I actually got the script book recently, as I showed you guys the other week, but it's the only episode I've read through. I've pretty much just read through deleted scenes here and there so far with the book. I've seen every single page. The first time I got it, I was just like, right, I cannot go to bed until I've seen every photograph in this book.
Yeah.
But yes, it's it's really only Charlie's Dream that's non-canon. I suppose you could debate the canon of Chinnery's past. So Ben, they've got a whole thing about Chinnery. Like a whole segment about him, but it's set in the Victorian times. It's wonderful. All these shows, Psychoville, League, and I assume Inside Number 9 were all once high dreams. I think that's what you're trying to say. No, I think they're just naturally weird people. I think that's.
Oh yeah, they are.
Yeah, they do not seem like the kind of people who participate in that kind of thing, very much, if at all. So
I could see maybe because they all met in university. I could see perhaps maybe that they partook back in those days.
Yes, I'm sure, like most students they did, but yeah, they don't. They don't. Yeah, I think that they're just like that. I mean, there is an interview, I think it's for That Gay Show, when they were making, specifically when they were filming Series 3 of League in Camden, and they were being interviewed. I think it's that interview where Shearsmith is asked about, you make all this weird stuff, and he's like, yeah, well, we know lots of people in show business, and they're like this, quite unusual, outgoing people, and we're quite ordinary, but we make all this weird stuff. Our weirdness is in our work, and I'm like, yeah, I think that's probably how people come across. Anyway, so I forgot to get them, but I think somewhere there's a Reece Shearsmith drawing of these children. I think there's definitely designs for the Halloween special, but I think it included drawings of these children. I think it was the costume of the girl was slightly different. But anyway, yeah, it got Reece Shearsmith very annoyed talking about people getting confused about how many times Mr. Jelly dies. It's like, no, he doesn't die multiple times. Some people just don't pay attention. Anyway, so then Phil, the Reki, tells this story about Joy that the researcher has almost certainly has made up. So let's see if you can get a shot of Joy's home. So they're trying to sell the house. They're having loads of people come over, but to no avail because Joy is really messy because the baby makes all this mess. Oh
Yeah.
no! Oh, dear Freddie makes the mess, and so and George, who his characterization is very different, which we'll talk about in a minute. Just loses his shit basically, and makes her clean the house all night so that
Which I think it was the clear sign that this wasn't a canon story, because he's been a little bit of a jerk throughout the series. But
by a little bit of a jerk, he tries to murder her, but like actually towards her.
Oh yeah, he's not been
he's not actually behaved like that.
Yeah, he's been outright abusive in this episode.
Yeah, but yeah, it's much like Treehouse of Horror, where characters are inconsistent, like they're flanderized versions of themselves before. Obviously, The Simpsons actually flanderized the characters in the rest of the show. It's like a comically flanderized, versions of themselves, the characters, which is kind of what we get here. Baby's making a mess. Remember, Purcell, it isn't mess, it's learning. Sighs aggressively. Yeah. So anyway, so there's this bit where he shouts at her getting all the recycling bins wrong. So she cleans all night, and so it's all perfect for when they come round, for when a couple come round to view the house. And she remembers it's Halloween and does a load of Halloween activities with Freddy Fruitcake. And then has a nap and then sleeps for like 6 hours. Obviously,
but she also manages to make an entire mess of the kitchen in 15 minutes.
Yes. I forgot about that. Yeah. So yeah, she sleep deprived, so she has a nap that lasted a bit too long. We've all been there.
Oh yeah.
And George loses it and then slips over. And then we get this, which is
it looks incredible.
It is incredible. This is ruined in the on the YouTube clip. This is the thumbnail.
Oh yeah, because this is the thumbnail image they use exactly.
Yeah, thanks BBC. Thanks for spoiling it. But yeah, I think it's a brilliant prop. So she obviously, as you can see, he smashes her pumpkin, so she makes one out of his head. And Steve Pemberton has kept this, and he has a he says he's kept it's without the wig, because the wigs for these things are taken back and reused by the BBC. But he's got the head. Apparently, had this head prop in his home office, and one of his kids, who would have been quite young at the time, because this was according to the commentary, so it would have been relatively soon after it. One of his kids went past his office and went, "Is that what your head looks like in real life?" Like, oh no, my head looks like how my head looks. But yeah, it is an incredible prop, and there is a head prop of Reese in the Inside Number 9 episode I'm discussing, and I am like, was Reese Shearsmith jealous? Was he just like, I really want a head prop as well? But yeah, right. It is a fantastic prop. It
is, yeah.
Yeah, it is really brilliant. And yeah, have you seen that lady who makes really good cakes that look like realistic stuff?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm just, because she makes sculptures of people's heads and things. I'm just like, I want to see you make sculptures of these heads.
Yeah,
that's what I want to see her do. So Natalie, what's side surf, isn't it? Natalie side surf. If you're watching this,
Here's an
make
inspiration
heads
for
of
you.
them out of cake.
Extra points if you can figure out a way to have the candle on the inside.
Well, she has made cakes that light up. She has made a light bulb cake with an actual light. You can't eat the
Ooh.
light, obviously.
No,
but
obviously.
She has made cakes that light up. It's the face of your dreams. I love that head prop too. Yeah, that is a fantastic prop. Anyway, so we do find out that that's after that Joy's obviously we know George isn't dead because it's supposed to be
Yeah.
this is supposed to be the reason why Joy was in the mental hospital.
Yeah.
But
of course,
but
as we
then
know from the story, she didn't get Freddie until she went to the mental hospital.
indeed, and so yeah, Drew fills us in and tells us that Paul, her original child, had died from cot death.
Yeah.
And we do, of course, if you were with us last week and were reading the case files, we also found out that I don't think it mentioned cot death, but it
They
mentioned
didn't
that
mention
it died, and then
the only mention of cot death is from this episode. They just mentioned that Paul passed away, but they didn't say how.
Yes, and it's the website's the only thing that mentions that the reason why she was in the mental hospital is because she stole someone else's baby, which
Yeah.
You could hear in the commentary for series 1. That was the backstory that they'd come up with all the way back then, but they just hadn't introduced it into the show.
Yeah.
And they're good with that. They'll introduce backstory when it fits. They won't cram everything in, which I think is good.
But it does
Anyway,
again.
so after this, keep going.
I was going to say, it does again show how, even though Joy is debatably the most crazy person in the first series, she's also the most sympathetic, considering her backstory.
Yes, that's a fantastic paradox with her character. And
Yeah.
there's paradoxes in terms of how much you sympathize with them, with all those characters. But I think it's probably the most stark with Joy, which, considering David and Maureen are in this series, is really saying something. But yeah, I think.
Although, to be fair, I don't necessarily see Maureen as crazy. She's, she's maniacal and homicidal, but she's surprisingly with it mentally.
Yeah, she just enjoys killings.
Yeah, she just enjoys killing. She's just very bored.
Yes.
They do say that boredom
More
will make you do
exciting than
insane
her Bon
things.
Tempe. Yeah. Well, anyway, so unfortunately, I wasn't able to get the correct version. So, for those of you who don't know, there are 2 cuts of this episode. One has a story omitted so that they could so it was cut down to be shown on television in the United States to make room for adverts. It surprised me BBC America has adverts, which is obviously so strange because BBC doesn't have adverts over here. But anyway, so because of that, they had a cut down version. There's a 4th story with Lomax.
Yes.
So let me know in the comments now if you're watching it live or if you're watching it afterwards. Have you seen the version with Lomax or without Lomax? Because the one that is on streaming, was on streaming, I wasn't able to find Psychoville on BritBox today, but I do think some BBC stuff is coming off. I don't know if that'll go on. Hopefully it'll go on iPlayer because I think probably more people have iPlayer. I don't know. I think it's more of a generation thing whether you have BritBox or iPlayer.
Yeah.
But BBC are pulling out of BritBox, which they created with ITV, because I know Doctor Who is moving
to Disney Plus.
Yes, but I think like the classic Who is also moving to BBC iPlayer.
Yes.
I think Disney Plus might be more of an international distributor kind of deal.
Yeah. But yeah, the story with Lomax, which I told Enchanted Essays what was the inspiration for it, which she wasn't aware of, it was inspired by the Night Gallery segment Eyes, which was the second story in the original movie pilot, starring Joan Crawford and directed by Steven Spielberg.
Yeah, because Steven Spielberg did quite a bit of stuff for telly, didn't he?
Well, the Night Gallery movie was actually a theatrically released movie.
Was it? Because
Yes.
yeah, I know. Was it? I know Steven Spielberg's what's considered by a lot of people to be his first film was actually a TV film that ended up getting a. I can't remember if it was a theatrical release or just quite a wide home video release.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
It was Jewel, I think it was called.
Oh,
Anyway.
Jewel. Yes.
So yeah, the story is Lomax has had an eye transplant. He goes to he accidentally takes off his bandages early, and he's gets these visions of this Chinese woman who I can't remember if she's actually, I think the actress is Chinese, but I think she's supposed to be Japanese in the episode. I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure the actress is Chinese because she's actually Have you seen Johnny English Reborn?
No, I haven't actually.
Okay, for those of you who've seen Johnny English Reborn, she's the one who plays the elderly Chinese assassin, which is ironic because, of course, Daniel Kaluuya is in both of them. And I think if any of you are a fan of very old and debatably aged poorly old comedy, Mind Your Language, which was a sitcom set in like an English as a foreign language class. I believe if memory serves, she was also played the Chinese student in that show.
Yeah.
Have you seen that show?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, it's about lots of different nationalities together, and it's like it's that thing of, oh, I don't like, this isn't malicious, but this is quite stereotypical, but it's kind of like, yeah, this hasn't aged that well, but at the same time, it's not like malicious. It's not like The Melting Pot or something really atrocious.
Yeah.
It's just a bit, but not, and anyway, so yeah, and it turns out that and he has this around the same time he gets this priceless gollywog doll that's for those of you who don't know, the mascot of a popular brand of marmalade used to be, I don't know if gollywogs were a thing outside. I think they were a thing outside of marmalade.
They sort
basically,
they sort of were, but yeah, they're more significantly remembered as being those marmalade spokesperson mascots.
Yeah, so imagine a Raggedy Ann, but with blackface. That is basically how you describe the look of these things.
Yeah.
And there is like a joke or two, Leaf going, "Oh my god, do you not realize how offensive this is?" And Lomax is like, "I know, there's an ink stain on it."
And then Lomax goes, "Welcome to the family." And then Tea Leaf goes, "You're worse than Madonna."
Yeah, I forgot that joke. But so yeah, so and it turns out that the little old lady whose eyes he inherited, she was murdered so that her son-in-law could steal and sell this priceless gollywog doll. Yeah, I think it was quite well done. It's quite a creepy well, yeah, it's quite creepy and well filmed. And there's she listens to EastEnders as she's killed, and there's actually sound cues in the episode, which I didn't know until I heard the DVD commentary, and then I could hear it as I was listening to the commentary. During the flashbacks, there's cues where you can hear it's like the EastEnders theme tune in slow motion, and I hadn't noticed it.
Yeah.
Just like very slow. Dun,
dun, dun, dun, dun, dun, dun, dun, dun.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that
Because
was.
nothing's scarier than EastEnders.
Yeah, it's just this street where terrible things happen to people.
And
And then there's the
it's
Archers,
all
where it's
acted
like,
very badly.
and there's the Archers where it's like, oh no, I accidentally shot an endangered species of bird. Oh no, the blind date night isn't going well down the pub. Oh no, it's a long commute to college. Oh no.
Sounds more like Emmerdale to me.
I mean, I think there's at least death in Emmerdale. Anyway, so yeah, that's supposed to be another sort of friend of the friend kind of rumor thing. It's obviously not canon. And
Yeah.
then Kensington took little Drew to see David because, of course, like we said at the beginning, the security system for her office was just David attached to an electric chair. By the way, did you see that in the electric chair after David is a woman with like white hair and pigtails?
Yeah, who Kensington called Goldilocks.
Yeah, of course. She's I won't spoil series 2, but she's revealed to be the inspiration for the Silent Singer.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, she takes him to see David. David's wet the bed and had nightmares, and he recounts this nightmare he's just had where he and his mum are going as Frankenstein's monster and his bride. Creepy.
Which I thought it would have been a bit more appropriate if Maureen played Frankenstein, as in Dr. Frankenstein, like she created the monster.
Indeed. She's my monster, and I created him. I love Maureen's dramatic monologues. They're just the best part of the show.
Yeah.
I still cannot believe that Reece Shearsmith plays Maureen. It just there's behind the scenes clips in the featurette for series 1, and where it's like the three of them rehearsing the rope episode, and look at Mark Gatiss like, yep, that's Mark Gatiss. I know he plays. That's Steve Pemberton. He's David. I cannot compute. I cannot compute that Reece is Maureen. I cannot compute it. Anyway, so yeah, they break down. They hitchhike. Try and get and they get picked up by this creepy guy who has this woman who's unconscious in his in the front car seat, and David's very suspicious because we hear on the radio that there's a serial killer on the loose, or someone who's nearly a serial killer. He hasn't got enough killings yet.
Yeah.
And David becomes suspicious of the unconscious woman, and Maureen goes, David, this nice man's picked us up. Don't go calling his wife dead. And so yeah, they're having this debate about serial killers, and David freaks out and jumps out the car, but this guy drives off with Maureen. 999 Espy Avenue. And so he calls the police, but it turns out that this lady wasn't dead. She was just having a nap, like the guy said she was. And also turns out that the slasher is actually a werewolf, and the werewolf is Maureen. And apparently some people did I think some people did complain about how this came out of nowhere. Like, no, it's a dream. It's just there is a serial killer on the loose. Turns out it's Maureen, and turns out she's a werewolf. I think that's a great twist.
Yeah, and also the transformation sequence in question is a tribute to American Werewolf in London.
And of course, director of American Werewolf in London, John Landis, appears in series 2
Yes.
because he'd made a film called Burke and Hare, which is his second to last film. He's pretty much stopped working now, I think, from the sounds
I
of
thought
it.
it was his actual last film. What was the one he did after Burke and Hare?
I don't know, but I remember seeing on Wikipedia that he has done one since then, because I do have a review of Burke and Hare that I've kind of been doing and then shelved, and then has been doing and then shelved. So I think maybe I'll release it soon.
I never watched Burke and Hare. It looked like it would have been quite a fun movie, but I didn't see the reviews weren't very good.
Yeah, it's one of those films that's like, yeah, it's all right. I think if I watched it a second time, I'd be really unimpressed with it. Watching it the first time, it's all right. It's a bit sort of, it struggles with tone. It's like, it's because it's trying to be like one of those silly little old Ealing dark comedies, but like with loads of like gore and like decaying corpses and stuff with maggots all over them. And but also it's kind of trying to be a bit horrible histories at the same time. But or maybe more like Mel Brooks would probably be a better comparison. But
yeah,
it's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of not so good jokes. But yeah, first watch I thought it was fine. I think on the second watch I'd be really disappointed by it as a film. Like obviously like hardly has anything to do with the history, and obviously it's quite weird thinking about, you know, it's a black comedy based on some real serial killers.
Oh yeah, but people have done that loads of times before.
Yeah, but yeah, it's weird tonally, and of course, you know, John Landis making a thing about killers. I won't go into that, but it's like, I don't want to go into the John Landis thing, but what I'm going to say is, for you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. Do you know what I'm referring to here, George? With
The Twilight Zone movie?
Yeah. He seems to be under the impression of, well, I'd never intended to chop anyone's heads off, so therefore I cannot possibly be blamed. That's not how accidents work. If you ignore health and safety rules and then some people die, that's kind of your fault, mate. I don't care, you know.
But to be fair, at the same time, yeah, it was still an accident. A very horrible.
It was an accident, but when you see him being interviewed about it, he doesn't seem like, apparently, you know, it does, you know, had traumatized him, as it would do, but he seems to be very dismissive of the idea that it could have been his fault in any way. And you look at what he was asking an actor and children to do, and you're like, I doubt a stuntman would be asked to do that. So I'm not going to get into it.
If we do want to get technical, we won't hang on this. If we want to get technical, it wasn't directly his fault. It was the person who set up the stunt.
Well, true, but he did decide to legally hire child actors.
Yes.
So, you know.
But yeah, let's not dwell too much on that.
Yeah, we will be here all night. Anyway, so but yeah, he isn't series 2. He was interviewed for series 2, which ended up on one of the, obviously not on one of the canon websites, just on like the official Psychoville website.
Yeah.
Anyway, so little Drew escaped when Kensington tried to shut him in. Do you think Kensington was actually trying to keep him there, or do you think she was just trying to scare him? I think that's,
well, like I said, if she was actually trying to keep him there, it wouldn't have worked, because he said that he lives next door to the asylum. Yes. So his parents would be like, oh, I wonder where our kid's gone. Well, you think the crazy woman who lives next door might have taken him?
Yeah. Yeah, that would have been a bit too obvious.
Yeah. So yeah, it was probably just you know, a false threat.
But anyway, so where's I going with this? So yeah, so they're going to leave, and then Kensington turns up, and see, her face is all burnt, and she shoots Drew, and then she walks into the scene from
the end of the final episode.
End of series 1, and it's I really like how perfectly tied in it is. And So yeah, I think it's really well wrapped up. And poor Drew and Phil die. We hear you can see it's Mr. Jolly in the end of the series. So
Mhm.
we see on this laptop the explosion. I think is a really good move to show it on like through the camera footage and then on the laptop, because then they can sort of, with the graininess and the size of the screen, they can they can hide the pitfalls of CGI quite well, which I think,
Yeah.
because obviously this is from 2010 and it's BBC budget, so
Yeah.
so yeah, it like it looks good because they've done this basically, which anyway.
Yeah.
So anyway, and we meet Imelda Staunton's character, who is obviously very important for series 2, and I think she's really good in series 2. I think
Yeah.
all of the original characters for series 2 are brilliant. There isn't
Well,
a bad one.
Imelda Staunton's always great in anything she's in.
Yes, and I love her. I think James Bond fans should agree that, because there's a lot of debate over Quantum of Solace. Some people think it's like this edgy, down to earth masterpiece. Some people like me cannot understand the plot, no matter how many times you see it, and are really bored by it, even though it has some interesting ideas. And but I think we could all agree the best thing to come from it is Imelda Staunton complaining about not having a touch screen like she's Judi Dench.
Yeah.
Anyway, so then we get a little ad for series 2, and again in I think she's changed her channel name to Edits by Elle. In Edits by Elle's recent Reese compilation, she included him going, oh, and then people went, oh, so it's just a big advert for series 2. No, it isn't. That's not all of it.
No, yeah, like there's a lot more to
everything
it
that came before that.
Yeah, there's a lot more to it than just being a teaser for the next series. It just happens to tie in well to the events that happen in between series.
Yeah, I think it's wonderful like that.
Yeah.
It's a taste without, and it refreshes our memories a bit without actually starting the series early, which I think is absolutely perfect what they've done here.
Yeah.
I can't fault anything in this episode. I don't think it's brilliant. I mean, I think there's pretty much only one storyline I have an issue with in the entirety of the show, which we'll come to in series 2. But yeah, I think it's really solid. I think it's great to rewatch on Halloween. It's not something you can watch on its own. Like I said, I think you can do that with the David and Maureen episode of series 1.
Yeah.
Obviously you can do that with Inside Number 9. Watch things as standalone. You can watch League of Gentlemen Christmas special as a standalone.
Yes.
You'll there's some jokes. There's only 2 scenes really where it's like, oh look, it's that character. There's only 2 scenes with that. And that's actually the first League of Gentlemen thing I ever showed my dad, was the Christmas special. That's just where I came in the when I was watching it, and we were about to have tea. I was like, do you want to watch this with me? I was like, yeah, all right. And so yeah, you can watch it as a standalone thing. You'd only miss a bit of stuff. And
Yeah.
so yeah, so let me see. So we will go to the Holy of Holies. I haven't done a spreadsheet for series 2 for the Holy of Holies, or anything after the Halloween special, anything, because of course last time we did Ravenhill, which came out. The website came out between the Halloween special and series 1.
Yeah.
So I haven't done anything for between series 1 and series 2 yet with the Holy of Holies. But George, would it actually be a Psycho stream if I didn't do my bad Lomax impression? So this is my Holy of Holies. Look, I've done the joke now. And so yeah, we'll go to the Ravenhill, and then from there we'll just go to the main websites, and I'll show you the series 2 look of the main site, and you can see that web design changed quite a bit between series 1 and series 2. So yes, this is the series 1 web design. So you can see you've got all the series 1 episodes here and the Ravenhill one, which, like I said, came out. It came out early 2010, I think. I forgot to check. I think it was like April. Actually, I've got it on my Holy of Holies. No, March, late 30th of March, 2010. So, and then of course, I've got the YouTube channels listed here as well. Like I said, extra material by Robert Neil Gibbons. I don't think they wrote anything for series 2, but I think that's around the time they started writing for Mid Morning Matters. Anyway, I think when we go to the next one, we get the new look of the Psychoville website and how BBC's websites look in general. I think that, yeah, they redirect it to a different link, hopefully. Can you hear an echo, by the way? Because I forgot to put my headphones in today.
A little.
Okay. I'll put them on then, because I want us to have the problem that we did with episode 2.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the experience here. So, like I said, just to remind you, with series 1, there was the way the sort of the game aspect worked is every week this the blackmailer, the black gloved man, would ask you questions and you'd have to find answers on the websites. This is the same thing. I do, thankfully to Dr. Tom Phillips at the University of East Anglia, I do have a screenshot of this that has most of the questions. And with all of them, it's finding numbers. So it's obviously a lot easier because we know we're looking for numbers with all the answers. These are all series 2 websites, so I'll go past them relatively quickly. The only exception is, of course, that so series 1 ones are down here, and then the series they never have the Summerhill website up here for some reason. Although you can find it. So this Kensington's message, I think I found out from the the notes of Dr. Tom Phillips. Once again, thank you for him. I know so much more about the experience. Thanks to him. This was what you get at the end, and like I said last time, thanks to John Ed, we now know that it was Kensington doing experiments on you, like getting patients to fart in your ear, that kind of thing. So anyway, Goldfish. So that this was the prize basically you get after answering the masked man's questions. Now we'll go to Goldfish Bowl Productions, which I'll check the timestamp, but I do remember it came out before series 2. I will have to check the air date on Wikipedia just to be sure. But you know, I'm 99% sure. I did check this all at some point. Oh, reminds me, I've got a bunch of articles and stuff on Psychoville that I should probably share with you guys at some point, just somewhere. By the way, I'm interviewing John Ed on Friday. I'm excited. I am nervous. So if you have questions, if you're watching this and you have questions for me, even if you're watching this Friday morning, please give me a question. Is it because I have lots I want to know. I have not yet formulated them into sentences, but I'm really curious to know what you guys want to know from him. As I've said before, you can look it up and to find out more about what he's done. Anyway, so this website, earliest timestamp is just after the Halloween special.
Yeah.
So these were blanks. I think these are flash files, but I think I tried loading this and it doesn't work. The second video, the first video, it has been downloaded. Someone's downloaded it and re-uploaded it to YouTube, and I've now downloaded it. So you can see Ruffle there, but it won't work. But yeah, I do have it downloaded. I think this is going to load indefinitely because I don't think anything comes up for this. I don't know if it is a 1 hour video though. I think that might be fake.
From what I remember, I don't think it was.
Yes. I don't think that was the Halloween teaser because I think that would have been hidden on the Ravenhill website because this, obviously, as you can see here, came out after the Halloween special a few days later, or it may have come out on the day. Like I said before, these aren't exact. Some of these, the first capture of these could have come a few days later. Because I think these were. Was done by like a bot that was doing this for all the BBC related websites. I think that's how it works. I'm relatively new to the Wayback Machine, so if you know otherwise, let me know in the comments. But anyway, I think we're definitely gonna have fun going through this website. We do have a video to start with. So there is a 20-minute or like a 19-minute version on the featurettes of the DVD, which someone has uploaded to YouTube. This is a much shorter version. It's about 3 minutes. I do think the shorter version is better.
Location, for someone who doesn't know.
Location, right. That is a place within a reality show or a drama, period drama or comedy drama that you go to and film in. So this could be a location. Anywhere potentially could be a location. Those toilets could be a location. She's brushing her teeth now.
It's the ladies.
Oh.
What, have you worked on any of the shows for Goldfish Bowl Productions?
Game show, which was about looking into toilet bowls and guessing who the feces were. The Tods, the actual human, you had to guess with a spoon who'd eaten what.
Yeah.
And there was a man behind the screen, and that was a lot of fun. I mean, it didn't really take off because people were. First of all, you couldn't get the celebrities to. A lot of celebrities' stools. I mean, this is a bit gross, but they eat a lot of carbohydrates, so their actual shit is quite sloppy.
Right.
And you need people like...
You couldn't cut it, for example, and get into it.
Exactly, it was too sloppy, it was like bowls, and we didn't want them in, we wanted it to look like... The logo was the actual Todd, and this was just look like soup.
Right.
It was more like a drink... I mean, if it had been... They could have just slightly twisted it, and it would have been little spoons, but no one wants to eat it. So we had to ditch that anyway.
There's no one there.
Hi, guys.
What other things do you do?
I'm a vegetarian, so I have to cook myself.
No. Sorry, I mean in your job.
All right. Like my private. Well, I have to do a lot of photography. I'm an amateur photographer, well, semi-professional, but I do actors' CVs. Take photographs of all the different places to take back to the director and see if he likes it. If he's okay with it, then we move on to the next stage. It's hard, with these young directors. Some of them are nicer to work with than others, but you've got to kind of get a feel. I've got to get in tune with them, and then when I'm in tune with them, then we're cooking.
So most of them are really good to work with, the directors.
Yeah, I mean, some of them, loaded question, but I'll try and answer it. Yeah, most of them are good. Others are what you call.
Well, sorry, we probably won't be able to use it if you say that swear word. Like.
Tossers, is that all right?
Tossers is probably the best. Go with tossers. So why are some more difficult than others?
Well, difficult's all right. I don't mind difficult. It's the ditherers. You work with these young guys. They're like, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to get a swimming pool without human shit in it, and you just get into a difficult situation with them because you take stuff back. I took about 4 different pools back to this guy. He just wanted.
Sorry, you're just doing the swearing thing again?
Yeah. I took these photographs of this guy, and he's a real.
I'm sorry, it's.
Well, you have to just bleep it out.
Okay.
Because I can't describe it any other way.
Right.
So
That reality TV show idea about the celebrity shit, I'm honestly surprised someone hasn't actually tried to do that.
Yes, it feels like some point that will be beyond satire. Anyway, so like I said, there is like a 19-minute version. I think personally, I think the shorter version is better. There is a different interview that did appear on either on featurettes or on the actual sort of Psychoville main page that I do really that I do think is better, that we probably won't have time to show, but I downloaded just in case because it's so here it is. So Goldfish Bowl. Goldfish Bowl Productions is a dynamic new independent production company. We make television about realities, not reality television.
Yeah, big distinction.
Okay, do you want to read the Phil Walker tribute or shall I?
I'll do it. Just give me a sec. Been outside a lot.
It's still loading. It probably won't load.
I've been outside a lot today and it's been wet, so I think I might have caught a cold. All right. Just let me zoom in. Phil Walker, a tribute. Goldfish Bowl Productions is sad to announce the passing of one of our staff, location manager Phil Walker. Phil has been with the company for 5 years, first as a green behind the ears runner on series 1 of Stinkfinger, where his duties included handling polystyrene cups of lukewarm tea to actors 10 seconds before a take. Phil then went on to location manage 4 seasons of Ladyboy Olympics before landing his most recent post as chief location scout on Dale's overnight ghost hunts. The job of a location manager is shrouded in mystery. They are paid vast amounts to have portaloos delivered to car parks and stop people parking within 5 miles of their own homes. But Phil brought a special passion, wit, and thriftiness to proceedings that made him popular with producers and public alike. Here, a short interview taken just days before the accident that killed him. Phil explains why he loves his job as a location manager and some of the highs and lows of his job. But it's not all doom and gloom, as we present our very own Blair Witch moment, the recovered footage from Phil's last job at Ravenhill Hospital, which of course is that video which we can't see.
It's so annoying. It's like, it's all the good stuff that we can't see.
I know, it sucks.
It's like all the best stuff. It feels like this, like, it feels like all the stuff. It's like, we're just reading the set dressing for this more interesting thing that we can no longer see. Okay, past productions. My $1 billion penis. We followed sheet metal worker Hal Skinner on his quest to have his 8 to 24-carat diamonds implanted into his foreskin. Against all medical advice, Hal travels to Amsterdam to source the diamonds for his bling dong. There should be a comma after advice. Yes, I am that person. Like, not majorly with grammar, but with commas. There should be a comma there. Anyway,
and the funny thing is that there is actually a man out there with $1 million penis. Not because he has diamonds studded into it. He's a porn star who feels like he needs to have his penis insured for $1 million.
Ugh. Anyway, winner of a FIDI for Best Multi-Channel Program title 2007. Anyway, do you want to read this one?
Sure. The Celebrities That Time Forgot on Channel 5. Well, that means that no one saw it then. 6 celebrities, 3 caves, 1 match. We plunge our stars back in time and ask them to live as cavemen and women in the Blue John mines in Derbyshire. They must keep a fire going for 6 months, hunt their own food, create their own language, and sacrifice one of their group to the mighty god of the sun. Starring Ray Reardon, MBE, Narinder off Big Brother 2, Ralph Little, Anna Carteret, Julie Peasgood, and Michael Fish. The episode where Michael snaps and kills a deer with his glasses is the 156th most popular watched clip on YouTube. Find it under Fish Goes Feral.
Stool Pigeon, BBC 3. Light-hearted game show hosted by Gillian McKeith. Armed only with a plastic knife and fork, our fearless panel have to match the famous face to the floating feces. Horribly addictive. Jackie Stephen, Daily Mail.
I'm actually surprised they didn't do some kind of joke about how Gillian McKeith is not an actual doctor.
I don't know who she is.
She's the host of the I forget what channel it was on, but you know the show You Are What You Eat?
No.
Okay. It was one of those diet shows that was really popular in the early and mid 2000s. And Gillian McKeith was the host of the show. And she called herself a doctor, but her doctorate was basically a fake doctorate. So she wasn't actually a doctor. So, should I do the next one then?
Yep.
The Chavs and the Chavs Nots, Sky Arts HD. Hidden camera show. We park a caravan of Asbo-wielding gypsies on the front lawns of unsuspecting Middle Englanders. Hang on. I think that's a misspelling.
Yeah, there should be an S. There was another comma, another incorrect comma, but I think it must be purposeful because you can't just like put a comma where a comma should not be, and not like missing out a comma. That makes sense. Put a comma before you start a list makes no sense. But anyway,
that's meant to be it's. So it's hate thy neighbor as sparks fly and blood pressure reaches boiling point. Dedicated to the memory of John Berry, whose body has never been found. I do like the design of that caravan, which looks like a Burberry cap that you would see on a stereotypical Cockney.
Yeah. It does sound like a show that they would have in the 2000s. I don't know if you've people have been commenting about like how mean shows were, like reality shows were in the 2000s, and there's these, I can't remember the names of the guys.
Reality TV shows, especially ones in Britain, were effectively look at all of these working class scumbags and how you can compare yourselves to them and how you're better than them.
And there's I can't remember what they're called, but these two guys do these comedy sketches, and it's just like every show for the 2000s. And it's like, we're talking to Steve, who spent all his benefits money on pizza. We went to talk to these union members, and look, they're all gay. And it's just like these like horrible, insulting, classist things, homophobic things that are being said about people. It's like, I forgot things were kind of like that.
Yeah. And anyway, sadly, they are still kind of going on even now.
I think people at least try and feign sensitivity. I think people do try and put a bit more like, oh, we're showing this to help people, instead of being as obviously exploitative, even though they are still being very clearly exploitative.
That's what Channel 4 tries to do, but then they give them really exploitative names.
Yeah. Anyway, Stinkfinger. Comedy sketch show starring Debbie Hart and the comedy group Flat Pack, a host of crazy characters and in-your-face comedy for the noughties. Characters include the Randy Rabbi, Dr. Pinchbum, and Flick and Roll, winner for the South Bank Show Award for Comedy 2010. If you remember, Stinkfinger is mentioned on Debbie's page of the Panto website, but it's actually referred to as a sitcom. I hope somebody got fired for that blunder. And although to be fair, League of Gentlemen started out as a sketch show and became, I don't know, like a mini soap opera by the end.
A comedy drama, I would call it.
Yeah, I love it. I love that they're like, okay, but what if everyone's lives are just kind of really depressing?
Yeah.
Let's just focus on how depressing it is, but which makes it sound bad. It's not. It's fantastic. It's depressing in the best possible way.
Yeah.
Anyway, new media. Here at Goldfish Bowl Productions, we like to see the world from the inside looking out. Like the convex shape of the Goldfish Bowl expands and distorts the view of a goldfish, our aim is to do the same. With 360-degree programming on multi-platform product stations, we can access the new realms of interactivity. In other words, we've done some websites for the programs. You see here, internet, Facebook, CD-ROM, twitting, mobile synergy.
It's interesting with this whole thing about Twitter. So they got the world's first Twitter soap opera, which you could insert a very easy joke of. So it's just Twitter on a regular day.
Yeah.
And then monetize your tweets to make money, which
it's now a thing.
Yeah, it's now a thing. And it's kind of killing the company in itself. But whatever.
Yeah, life imitating satire.
Yeah. And it is funny. It's like the idea of Twitter's a soap opera created by Twitter. You could obviously make the joke of, well, there's not nearly enough racism.
Yeah. Anyway, you want to read this bit?
Sure. Research shows that teenagers, much like goldfish, have a 30-second memory. In creating a soap opera where the episodes last longer than 140 characters, we can cater for this market. Below is the pilot episode for Sunday Rainbow.
Okay, Ed. You want to read Ed and I read Bex?
Yeah, sure. Ed, what's up?
Your face.
Eh?
Pregnant in it.
Father.
You are Dan.
Get rid.
Already have.
What the fuck? I love that with the goldfish just floating upside down.
Yeah. New Goldfish Bowl app for iPhone 3GS. This ingenious and fun application shows a goldfish swimming around in a bowl. Touch the screen and the goldfish will speak the name of one of our programs. Warning, the goldfish dies after 30 days.
So it's like a Tamagotchi.
Yeah.
So, red button. All our programs have red button options. Simply press the red button on your TV remote on the word loading, and the word loading will appear on your screen for half an hour. 3/4 of the screen will then be taken up by small blurred writing, giving you interesting extra content, such as the Focus Puller's video diary and other items not used as DVD extras. A fun extra is trying to guess which combination of buttons to press to make the content go away. Not as easy as it looks. So whoever wrote that really hated the red button features on TVs back then.
I mean, I'm pretty sure it was Pemberton and Smith who wrote all of these for this series. But yeah, I remember when we first got a Digibox, because we got it later than most people, and being really excited by the red button features at the time. Yeah. I cannot remember a single feature on the red button other than I used it with CBBC. I cannot remember a single thing that was.
CBBC had some good stuff. Like Dick and Dom had an entire game you could play to actually win prizes.
Yeah. I think, was there a game with Sarah Jane Adventurers or something? I can't remember. I might have been confusing it with an online thing. But yeah. Is it the red button still a thing at all? I don't know.
No, I don't think it is. At least not that I remember.
I mean, I'm pretty sure the button's still on the remote, but...
Well, anyway. Yeah, it is. You can see there, red.
Dale's overnight ghost hunts. You want to read this?
Oh, okay. Dale Winton, supermarket sweep, pets win prizes, returns to Goldfish to front a brand new spooktacular show from different haunted locations throughout the UK. Dale's last show for Great Britain, in which various...
I think you mean Goldfish Bowl.
Oh, yeah. Dale's last show for Goldfish Bowl, in which various sections of an orchestra competed with each other to lose weight, gastric bands, another brilliant pun there, yeah. was a huge hit on Bravo Daytime. So that means it's as popular as The Real Housewives of New Jersey. Each week, Dale will lead an intrepid team of celebrity ghost hunters around reputedly haunted locations. I'm looking forward to putting the willies up as many people as in the UK as possible, smiled Dale. I've always been fascinated by paranormal activity, especially when they do basketball in wheelchairs. anything you want to add to pad this out, a paragraph is fine by me. Just get one of the juniors to proofread it, will you? Otherwise, this will end on the actual website. Imagine that. Thanks for last night, by the way. Really enjoyed myself. Don't worry, I won't say anything. D. That's brilliant. I like that bit at the end.
Yeah, I like that.
So I think that's everything on this website.
I think that is everything. Like I said, I have downloaded the Mr. Jelly video. If you'd like to see that, it's not canon or anything, but it's just fun. But I see that we've did longer than usual, so we can.
Yeah, we've gone on for quite a while, so yeah, probably wrap it up now.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you very much, everyone. Really enjoyed spending Halloween with you all, and I hope you all have a happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween, everybody.
Like I said, George has a Halloween video out. Go watch it. I haven't seen it yet, but I've seen the other ones in the series and they're brilliant. I've got a Halloween video that will come out at some point before December, hopefully. And also, in terms of this series, we will pick it up again at some point. Like I said earlier, I might do Inside Number 9 or League of Gentlemen live streams around Christmas. Depends on what you guys want. So when you see the polls on my community tab, make sure you check out my community tab to make sure that you're voting on those polls so that we discuss what you want to discuss. I don't, George, you're welcome to join me with those if you're available.
Yeah, I'll be happy to join you again.
Yeah. And so yes, we'll return to Psychoville at some point next year. I'm not sure when. I mean, we could wait until next Halloween, but it'll probably be before then. I imagine maybe around whenever they do the last series of Inside Number 9. I think it might be April or May, from last I checked. But I mean, it'll. I'm sure a lot can change in our own lives in like the next 6 months. So
yeah.
So yeah, thank you very much, guys. Like I said, I'm interviewing John Ed on Friday, so please, if you have any questions for him, let me know in the comments. And yeah, thank you very much. I'll see you. I'll see you guys when I see you. Bye-bye.
Bye.